So I hope you had a chance to solve the next question. Now let's do it together. So what I have here is x cubed plus 4x squared plus 6x less than -4, 24. So I'm going to move everything to one side. So that's going to be x squared plus 4x squared plus 6x plus 24 is less than 0. Now I can factor this using the long division or synthetic division, or because I have 4 terms, I can try factor by grouping. So this is an x cubed here. So to factor the first 2 terms, I can use x squared, and that's going to be x plus 4. Factor the second 2 terms, common factor is 6, so it's going to be x plus 4. That's going to work. So you see that both of these are common factors, so it's going to be x plus 4, x squared plus 6 less than 0. Perfect, so that's factored x squared plus 6. I can't factor any further. For the zeros for this one is x equals -4. There's no real zeros for this one, because if I set x squared plus 6 to equal to 0, bring this over, so it's going to be x squared equal -6, and that's not possible because that's not a real root. So I only have 1 0 here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's graph it. Let's graph it. So what do we have here? What do we know? If this is a -4 here, we know that this is a cubic, so odd degree, and we know that the leading coefficient is positive, so it's going to go from Q3 to Q1, and we all know that we only have 1 0, so it's going to be something like this, maybe, right, where I only have 1 0. It passes through that -4, all right? So the question here is, when is it less than 0? So it's less than 0 when x is less than -4. That's it. That's all what I have. So this is when it's less than 0, right? When x is less than -4. So when x is less than -4. That will be my my answer, okay? You can do the table of values if you like. All right, you should end up with the same answer, but I'm not going to do the table of values. I just graphed it here. All right, so you can pick one or the other, unless the question asks you otherwise. So here's an application question. The price P in dollars of a stock T years after 1999 can be modeled by the function PT equals 0.5 T cubed minus 5.5 T squared plus 14 T, where when will the price of the stock be more than $90? So they're telling us that the price is more than $90. When? We're looking for time when P is 90 or greater than 90. So what I have here is I have my function, which is 0.5 T cubed minus 5.5 T squared plus 14 T is greater than 90. That's what the question is asking you for. Bring the 90 over, so you have 0.5 T cubed minus 5.5 T squared plus 14 T minus 90 is greater than 0. Now, I probably can factor a 0.5 out. So that's going to be T cubed minus 11 T squared plus 28T, and then minus 180, and that's going to be greater than 0. If I divide by 0.5, 0 divided by 0.5 says 0, so basically that stays the same but without the leading coefficient. So T cubed minus 11T squared plus 28T minus 180 is greater than 0. I can't do factor by grouping. So what I have to do is I have to find a factor. In this case, the factor I believe would be a good one is 10. So you guys can try different factors. So x minus 10 is a factor. So let's do synthetic division. And I have 1, negative 11, 28, and negative 180. And I have 10. Negative 10, 18, and then 180. So it's a 0. There we go. So that's going to be t. Forgot that I'm using letter t. So it's going to be t minus 10, and then t squared minus t plus 18. And then we're looking at greater than 0. Let's see if we can factor this one. Can I find two numbers and multiply to 18 and add to negative 1? No, because multiplying to 18 and adding to a negative, so both of them have to be negative, and there's no way that both of them they're going to add up to negative 1. So there's no solution for this one. You can test it using the b squared minus 4ac and see if it's negative. So if I do b squared minus 4ac here, I'm going to end up with negative 1. So that's 1 minus 4. It's going to be negative 71. So because it's a negative number, so there's going to be no solution, no real solution. So the only real solution is t equals 10. So if I'm going to graph this, all what I know so far is I know that I have 10 as my 0, and it's an odd degree with a positive leading coefficient. So it's going to go from Q3 to Q1. And I know that's going to go from here, something like this, and then up to here. Okay, you can check the graph on Desmos, but the important part is it's going from Q3 to Q1, and it's going to pass through 0, through 10. So the solution is t is, because I'm looking for when it's greater than 0, right? So it's greater than 0 when t is greater than 10. So that would be my solution, right? So therefore, the price of the stock will be above 90 after year, let's see, so in 10 years, which is 1999, after 10 years, so that's 2009. Okay, the stock price will be greater than 90 after 2009. Okay, because as you can see that we started in 1999 plus 10 years, that's 2009. All right, hope that's a good, everything's good and you're not having any problems with this. We're gonna have a test on Wednesday. I'm gonna put all the information for the test on D2L, so please watch for that.